Welcome to the Noise Podcast. I'm your host, Christian, and this is the second part of our case entitled Dropped, Part 2, the Aaron Hernandez story. Now, I will be wrapping up the case in this episode, and I will give you guys some thoughts on how the Patriots handled it and how they could have done better. On June 17th, 2013, the body of Odin LLoyd was found in a gravel pit at a construction site by a jogger who was taking their afternoon run. It was determined that he was shot 7 times execution style, and coincidentally, the site was only less than a mile away from the Hernandez home. Detectives also determined that LLoyd was last seen with Hernandez at around 2:30 a.m. and entering a silver Altima, which also was seen entering the construction site. At about 3 in the morning, gunshots were heard by passers-by, and at 3:30, the Altima arrived back at the Hernandez home when only 3 individuals got out, none of which were LLoyd. This made Hernandez a prime suspect. Now, Hernandez and LLoyd knew each other through their girlfriends who were sisters. LLoyd also knew that Hernandez had an arsenal of weapons and about his involvement in a double murder in Boston. This infuriated Hernandez, which gave him the motive to murder LLoyd. 9 days later, Hernandez was arrested and awaited his fate. After almost a year of deliberations and court filings, a jury of his peers determined that Hernandez was without a doubt guilty of the crime of first-degree murder. Hernandez's time was up. Hernandez received a sentence of life without the possibility of parole, and the other 2 parties involved took lesser sentences when they agreed to work with police to get Hernandez. He is still currently serving that sentence. Now, my thoughts on the whole situation. I think the Patriots failed Hernandez when they knew about his shady past, and still he went back home, he went back and forth, and hung out with the same people that he grew up with. I think the Patriots could have had a tighter leash on Hernandez, and I think this case set a precedent for teams and how they handle, situations in which a player might be a loose cannon. Teams are more weary of the risk versus reward when drafting a player, as they saw how this blew up in the Patriots' face. Now, this has been the Noise Podcast. I'm Christian. Thank you so much for listening. Lates!